Let's see, the Hopkton Board of Appeals on Wednesday, December 10th, 2025 at 7 p.m. will reopen the public hearing on the petition for variance filed by Ronald and Barbara Foisey, 25 Chamberlain Street, Hopkton, Mass., to construct a detached accessory dwelling unit in excess of 900 square feet at Chamberlain Street, 25 Chamberlain Street, Hopkton, Mass. Assessors map R24, block 20, lot 0. This public hearing is held pursuant to an order of remand issued by the Massachusetts Land Court for the limited purpose of making requirements variance findings under the zoning laws. Under zoning bylaws and MGL Chapter 48, Section 10. At the close of the public hearing, the board will vote its findings and issue a written remand decision as supported by the evidence. The hearing will be held remotely using the Zoom meeting service. For additional information, please email zba@hopkintonmass.gov. Call the Department of Land Use and Planning Permitting at 508-497-9745 or check the online meeting calendar and agenda for this meeting at hopkinma.gov. This legal notice is also posted in Massachusetts Newspapers Public Association MNPA website at masspublicnotices.org. John Patil, Chair and Clerk, regarding 25017. This guy. So as some of you know, some of you may not know that I'll read what came back. The board will reopen the hearing for a limited purpose of making required variance findings. It shall not take any testimony, not hear any new evidence on the application. The board shall deliberate for the sole purpose of making the required findings under bylaw GLC 48N. At the close of the public hearing, the board will vote its findings, issue a written decision, and the board shall issue the remand decision with the Hopkins Town Clerk within 21 days. Okay, so we've got Michael, Dan, Jim, me, 1, 2. Who else was on here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Dina, who else?
The 4 of you that voted was yourself, Mike Riley, James, Dan Hunt, and Sean won't be there tonight.
Sean won't be here, so it's just 4 of us for today then. Okay. All right. So what it came down to is when we did our findings, we just did the boilerplate that we normally do. And I think that they wanted us to get into some more detail. So I can kick off stuff with what I came up with, and you guys can deliberate it, or we can vote on it. What I came up with is that we find that the literal enforcement of provisions would involve substantial hardship, noting the proponents wanting to age in place and needing room for inevitable health issues for walkers and wheelchairs. I understand that my sister just had a stroke, and I need that. I know that a lot. And then also the placement of the unit itself meets all the setbacks, even on the odd property line that goes along the front. So you know, in order for them to make it so that they didn't impinge upon anybody else's property lines, I believe that the place that they had to put it is covers it on the placement.
The topography, you mean?
Topography, thank you. That's good. Word wasn't coming to my head. So those are that's all I came up with. I don't know if I think that we should also put in a condition that that they have a natural barriers between any of the abutters.
Through the chair.
Yes.
You cannot condition variances. You can't condition variances.
Okay. Because usually that's what we ask for, that kind of stuff.
Variances run with the land, so that would be a condition that every owner moving forward would need to adhere to.
Okay. Thank you, John. Okay, Mr. Riley, guys, you want to, your any comments, Mr. Hunt?
Yeah, I think the ability to, based on the size of the lot, which is also the topography, I'm going to use it the other way, is gives them an opportunity to, where it ties into the financial hardship, in the ability to have their children live on the premises in the other house where they can now age in place, have relatives close by, and use the land as such to not to disturb and not to impinge upon any of the setbacks as they build this thing, and get the chance to live there. So I think that's why it complies with the topography. And I think in just the opposite way, we're always looking why it has to be there. Well, where they're positioning it, it allows them to have a thing that is larger than the 900 square feet or the 750 square feet that they're entitled to, but their hardship to me allows them to build something of more size where they can live comfortably, finish their working things, and having two elderly people with me now. I can tell you, occasionally you need walkers, occasionally you need wheelchairs, occasionally you need to have a bathroom that doesn't have a lip on the things. And they've just demonstrated financial hardship to try to convert their home into something that was accessible for them while as they're older. This is a commonplace things with elder, and as we face this, I think it's important that we look at making this possible for elderly people to stay in place with their families on their land when it so allows it to be so. And I think this is a prime example of that. And so I further that motion, and I think that's how it meets the requirements, John, for it when it gets remanded back to the court. They remanded it back to us. The other thing I'm going to make it really clear, and I hope this is in there, the person who opposed this has moved. There is no standing. So the petition that brought forth this complaint, that brought it to court, they have moved. So this would not have been opposed. This was not a court, and shame on him. And he knew he was moving when he opposed it. He's afraid to not get enough money for his property or something, or thought it was going to interfere with the sale of his property. It didn't. So shame on him for knowing and spending money to oppose somebody who wants to live in their place when he knew he was selling the property. He never made that clear when he brought forth the complaint, when he sat in front of us. So I feel we owe him nothing, and I don't think the court owes him anything either. He has no further standing to oppose this.
Well, it's funny. The way I look at it, and Mr. Shepherd could probably come in on this. The Foise's could have put up a 30 by 40 garage, a large 3-car garage. That's 1,000 square feet and done it by right. All they just had to do is make sure that they meet all the setbacks. And if for me, we've got to take care of people that want to stay in our town and age in place. I'm not too far behind. And as when we were younger, we could live in 500 or 600 or 700, 900 square feet. But as we get older, just because we're old doesn't mean that we only need one bedroom and a small living room. I'm not ready to go into assisted living yet. But anyway.
I also think that our town council needs to go to this hearing and ask it be dismissed for lack of standing and nothing further be said. Okay. They shouldn't even get into the meats of this case. It should be just dismissed. You have to have a harm. There's no harm if he doesn't live there anymore.
Mr. Burton, from real estate point of view, you have anything?
I'd like to add that the additional square footage will allow it to be ADA compliant. Beyond that, all the other comments, no standing, and John, your comments are all excellent, and that's pretty much what I'd like to say.
Mr. Hunt.
No, I would agree. It's nice they can age in place, and yeah, I agree with the rest of the comments.
Okay, so
Make a motion, John.
Yes, okay, so I'd like to make a motion.
Do we need to do findings
Let's
first?
do findings, yes, I'm gonna do findings first. Okay, so I'll start over again, like I
Excuse
did,
me,
as I
one
said before.
item.
Pardon me?
One item,
Oh, yes, Mike.
just so we don't, I know this has gone to court and so it doesn't affect it in the future. ADA does not apply to single-family residences.
Oh, I totally understand that. I totally
Can-
understand.
We can indicate that it's going to make the the dwelling more accessible or something, for
Mhm.
people with limited mobility or something like that. But I don't base it on it being ADA
Well,
compliant.
well, ADA, yeah, it's accessibility is the other term that we should be using, that we're making it accessible, because
Yeah.
that's what I just had to do.
That's fine. I just wanted to.
That's what I just had to do at my sister's house. I actually had to knock down a wall, just so that, I could, just redo her bathroom, just so that she could get in there, because 30 years ago when she built, she didn't think that she was gonna have to go through this, so. But anyway, I'll do the findings. So we find that the literal enforcement of the provisions would involve substantial hardship, noting the need to age in place, need room for walkers, wheelchairs, and inevitable health issues.
In the financial hardship, because they cannot afford to do those improvements to their current home. It's easier to build, and then that way they can also have their family move in there who can kind of be there with them. So that's also part of it.
Okay, and then for the placement, that it meets all the all the setbacks, even on that odd property line in the front. And the size, well, does not, like that. Okay, that's without relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good, and the desirable relief may be granted without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of the ordinance or bylaw. Yeah, and I really believe that so I can't do anything else. It's in the middle of my thing. I believe that that's sufficient. I believe we covered all the points that we
So
needed.
do we vote on the findings?
So we have to, well, I need a second.
Second.
Okay, now we vote on the findings. And we discuss the findings if you want to. Just any discussion on the motion. Hearing none, how do you vote, Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Burton?
Yes.
And I vote in the affirmative also. Okay, and now the second part. John, I did the findings. Where's my motion?
Motion to find for the variance.
That should be it. That should be it. Because you already made the decision. The court just remanded back to get
Oh, okay.
clarification on the findings. So now that you voted on the findings in more detail, I believe that should be it, and you can close the hearing.
Okay, motion to close.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion to close? Hearing none, Mr. Riley?
Sorry.
Mr.
The chair
Hunt?
can't. The chair can't make a motion.
Okay,
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Second.
okay. All right, any discussion on the motion to close? Hearing none, Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Burton?
Yes.
And I vote in the affirmative also. Okay, it is closed. Okay. All right, so now we can move on to Maple Street. All right, guys. a second. Back up to the top, where Dina just sent them to me. Okay, so, Adina, so we're reopening. We never closed 12 Maple Street. We kept it open, so I don't have to reopen it.
Correct.
All right, so, under the usual verbiage you sent me, I have the note from George Connors. So maybe I'll turn it over. Is Mr. Connors here?
I am, yes.
Okay.
You see me?
Yes. Could you tell us what's going on?
Sure, may I share screen? Can you hear me?
Should be all set, George.
Okay, this is a revised plan that shows the property and its applicability to the historic building bylaw. And the last time we had discussed this, we had found that this parcel down here had been transferred to this parcel, thus the location of the house and the use of the driveway there. But that had not taken place through the various chains of title all the way up to present. So we've revised this lot a little bit down to a smaller size, and it is running along this particular property line right here, the existing property line that ran along for the whole totality of the parcel. As you know, we're cutting this out for a new building under that bylaw. And under the historic bylaw, we don't have to deal with area, nor do we have to deal with setbacks. Of course, we have these various violations, as you can see. But now the lot really has no frontage. It is about 80 feet to the house from the end of Maple Ave extension, which is the layout of the road. And then we will then pursue this through the courts to get title brought up to this at the appropriate time. Notwithstanding that, presently we have the use of this since 1888, when the house was built, and certainly before that, 1838. So I think that corrects the issues that we had identified during our last hearing. Happy to answer any questions, respond to any comments, or offer any changes that you may see fit.
Okay, before we started, excuse me, Dina, could you tell us who is on this one?
Yeah, it's yourself, Mike Riley, James, Arnold, and Dan.
Okay. Beautiful. All right, anybody have any questions for Mr. Connors?
So I guess since we're changing what you presented, did you have to John, I'm talking to John G. Since petitioner changed do they have to redo or amend their original?
I mean, that's up to the board. If the board thinks that it's a substantial change that requires re-notification of abutters and an opening of a new hearing, then they would. But we've had it in the past where the relief requested is effectively the same relief, just different dimensions.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to make them go through a lot of problems. If what he applied for before is just simply amended, and we still have the authority to grant them that. That's all I'm concerned about.
Yeah, we when we notice these types of hearings, even with special permits and variances, the numbers can change. So we don't advertise the exact amount that they're requesting because we know that might
Okay.
change. It's really just for variance for this. And so there's some flexibility on the board's side to make those small changes when needed.
Okay.
Yeah, and I see it as de minimis. It's again, we're still doing the same thing, frontage, just a different number. But now I'm just glad and considering that, I was, as I said before, part of writing this bylaw. I know the spirit of the bylaw, and this is another perfect example of just why we did it. So we can still keep a historical structure in here, and as Mr. Masterson pointed out, it's this the distance from the lines, all that makes no difference. It can be a zero, it can be down to zero, but as long as they keep that house and still make it usable, I'm fine. I just what before Mr. Connors, that's what I was worried about was granted frontage on land that the proponent still didn't have control of. And so now that you said that you're going to pursue it later on and just do this with the zero, I'm good with it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I have a couple questions. George, has it been determined by the Historical Commission that the existing building is a historical building?
It is by definition because of its age. It was constructed in 1888, so it's well over the required number. I don't know
So
what that number is off the top of my head. 50 years, maybe.
50, it's 50 years for it, which sounds really kind of funny now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in
All right,
college.
so you don't really need a determination by the Historical Commission because per se it's a historical building?
Per se, correct. And documented on the assessor's cards.
And in the bylaw 210-117.2 talks about a lot may be created which does not meet the size and setback requirements, but it doesn't say anything about the frontage requirements.
It does not, and that's the reason we're here.
And that's what Mr. Masterson was talking about at our last meeting, Arnold, was that I think the one we voted on just before this, all they had was a driveway for their frontage, and we called it. We said it was okay because that's what the spirit of the law was. That in some cases you might have to create a strange pork chop lot just in order to make it work, and rather than have people create very strange shaped lots and to try and make it work, we came up with this bylaw because otherwise people would knock down that old house and put up 2 or 3 other houses, and we'd lose our historical connection here in Hopkinton.
All right, is lot 1 going to be a conforming lot?
It is, yes.
All right,
It has more than 100 feet of frontage and more than 22,000 square feet of area.
yeah, so I'm not sure that the argument that the frontage doesn't apply, but I understand the argument, so I'm not, and it's the spirit of the law, so I'm not going to oppose it. I'm going to, I'll vote in favor of it, but I'm not sure that and just want to say for the record that we're not making a precedent on that issue, at least as far as I'm concerned. And
Arnold, if I could clear that up. So the ZBA doesn't have the authority to waive frontage requirements, or the planning board, I should say, doesn't have the authority to waive frontage requirements for this. The planning board does have the authority to grant the special permit to allow for the size and setback requirements to be waived or to be reduced. That's why they're coming for a variance for the frontage. So the only thing that the board is doing right now is contemplating the variance for the frontage on this. The historic nature of the building and all the other details are something that's under the jurisdiction of the planning board. Does that make sense?
All right, so what is it about the topography or the shape of the lot that we would grant a variance on the frontage?
The issues with respect to how this lot is different than others in the neighborhood include its shape. Its shape is one that has literally no frontage for the existing dwelling, which therefore then would argue against any kind of a historic structure bylaw being operable. The land also is very low and flat. It is surrounded by, and this is in the document, drainage ditches from past agricultural activities that have become clogged, and now the groundwater elevations are fairly high. The wetlands have basically encircled this entire lot, somewhat along the boundary lines of it. And where the current wetland regulations in the town have a 50-foot no touch, if you put a little buffer on this plan with 50 feet, you'll end up with very little land that's able to be used. And therefore, it constrained the location of the proposed dwelling, and also had limits on the ability of the property to be, again, subdivided under this 210.117.2. In terms of the shape of it, the shape really is something that is relative to frontage, where the bylaw does not even ask about frontage. It gives waivers or it gives relief for standing relief for setbacks and area, but does not talk about frontage. So we don't even know if frontage is a numerical requirement. And then finally, the hardship with the land is also that we have to extend some kind of access for the property from the existing paved way for fire apparatus to be able to access the property and really egress the property a lot more quickly than it presently could. As you can see, that there's a proposed fire lane easement on the plan, which the applicant has dealt with the fire department on for this to go through. All that having been said, if this and the regulations of the Wetlands Protection Act in Hopkinton, their own regulations, weren't in place, this would be a simple subdivision going down, extending the road, or coming in with a much bigger house. So I think that between soils being impacted by groundwater, topography being very flat and impacted again by the lack of the maintenance of drainage structures in there, and of course the shape of the fact of the wetlands and the property with the buffer zone, unlike others in the neighborhood, we can meet the requirement for the requirement for a variance on those three.
Okay, so
So is there any, well, I had another question. Is there any reason where there's that street extension seems to stop before the end of the border of lot 1? But
well, I don't know.
can that area be paved?
Well, I don't know. That was the issue. That's why they came back to us, because there was remember, if you recall, there was the ownership of that lot that they couldn't confirm to us, and so that's why they're coming back and saying, instead of looking for, I think they were looking for 75 feet before of relief. Now they're asking for a full 100 feet of relief, until they prove that they indeed control that part of the land.
Well, that's that, that rectangle,
Yeah.
beside the where it says street extension, There's like a rectangle there, and that's the one that you found a deed that showed that it was part of this lot too? Or part
Yes,
of the
I see the little parcel
whole-
below it. But to answer your previous question, we are going to pave well past that street extension and into the proposed fire lane easement as shown on a site plan, which we have to go before.
So you'd have some frontage if you did that.
Physical, yes, physical, on a paved way, yes.
All right.
John, can I ask for Mr. Shepherd's opinion?
Sure.
Michael, do you have an opinion? Mr. Shepherd, do you have an opinion on this?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, there you
I,
go.
I finally
We can
figured it out. Too many
We can see you
birthdays.
too.
I agree with John. In terms of the bylaw to preserve a historic structure, we could almost do anything. We have way too many new structures in town, and they don't make old ones anymore. But I think that what Mr. Connor's done answers the question from the previous meeting where it was that long strip in front was in question as to who owns it. And I'm sure they're going to work on getting that rectified. But it really doesn't matter at this point because they use it. They're going to drive on it. They park on it. They're going to pave it. So I suspect that'll all be fine. But I hardly endorse the bylaw for this purpose to protect the old house. The second part of this is, as a parent, as all you folks are, I think it's important to keep your kids close. And the wife of Mr. D'Angelo is an elder, Kathleen Elder. We all know Paul Elder. And PJ Elder lives on Nebraska Street, which is like 200 feet from this house. Paul lives on Pleasant Street, 200 feet the other direction. And his younger son lives down at the end of Pleasant Street. So Paul has effectively got most of his family all together here, which is great from a parent's perspective. And I know you can't use that in your decision making, but all of us dream of that kind of scenario where that happens. Also, all these kids went to Hopkins Public Schools. The D'Angelo's kids, which are two of them, currently go to Hopkins Public Schools. And if they get this and they can build this house, they can continue to live in town. And we got another great family that just stays in town. I guess that's my 2 cents. And, take it for what it's worth. Thank you, gents. You guys are doing a great job, by the way.
I love our town.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherd.
This is great. And that's, previously, people probably would have put that in the findings. Great family, want to keep them as part of the facts. Yeah. But I don't think Mr. Gelchich will allow us to put that in the findings of the facts.
I agree completely. That was my 2 cents, and you asked for it. So
I absolutely asked for it, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so James, do you have anything for this one?
No.
Okay, and Dan, I think you're on this one too. Yeah.
Yep, no, I agree. I think it's wonderful as well.
Excellent. Thanks, Dan. All right. So
No,
you want to? Mr.
I'm
Mike.
still here.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, it's only showing me 5 boxes on top of the thing.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly with Mike, but I think before we issue a variance on this, we should have something to the fact that that piece of property is owned by, the main piece of property. And the second thing is that if they're applying for a variance, one of the requirements is that we have a certificate of appropriateness issued by the Historic Commission. That we don't.
But
So
anything over
we're
50,
gonna
anything
rely
over
on
50
that.
years. anything over 50 years is considered, something at 50, I think that we would have to go. But 1838, Mike, I think that's.
No, I agree with that. But the fact is that it says for a variance, you should be having a certificate of appropriateness from the Historic Commission. And we don't have it. It's an easy enough thing to do. And, we're basing it, we can't, as said before, we can't condition a variance on that piece of property being attached to the main piece of property. So I think they're just, like I said, I agree wholeheartedly that we should be granting this to save the historic structure, to let them all live together in the same area, but I think we should do it appropriately.
May I comment?
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, I wonder why you.
So wait, George, wait 1 second. George was going to say something.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. 210-117-2 does not carry the requirement of some kind of an appropriateness certificate from the Historic Commission. I think that it's axiomatic if it is a 1888 structure that it exceeds the 50 years. In terms of that parcel, we're not suggesting that has anything to do with the request for the variance whatsoever. The variance is simply for a frontage to a street that is 80 feet distant. And whether we use parcel 1 or not, it is not part of the petition. And if it does become that in the future, it would never have any impact on the document that grants the variance.
Okay, well, I'm reading right from your application, submission requirements, uniform application for special permit, petition for variance. In your application that you submitted. And one of the items is copy of any applicable decision or permit issued by a town of Hopkinton entity not included above, such as the certificate of appropriateness issued by the Historic District Commission.
That's for the special permit from the planning board. That's not you folks.
Right. We're only,
This is a
Mike, we're only doing as John stated at the beginning, we're only doing a variance for the 100 feet. Planning board takes care of the rest.
Correct. So it's a
Okay.
two-step process.
That
We have
is-
to go to planning board. As you can see, I included that information that you may know that we're going there. So our next stop is planning board, assuming we get a variance.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Dan, let's see who else? Dan, Arnold, James, Mike, and me. James, anything?
No.
Okay. Any members of the public wish to speak to this? Anyone? Anyone? Hearing none. Okay,
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
we have a second.
Second.
Okay, Jim, thank you for the second. Okay, any discussion of the motion to close? Hearing none. Mr. Riley,
Yes.
Burton,
Yes.
Mr. Cohen,
Yes.
and Mr. Hunt.
Yes.
Okay, and I vote in the affirmative also. Okay, so the public hearing is closed. So we've got, my findings from before don't reflect the 75-foot change.
It's 100
Right.
feet now, I believe.
Now we're looking for the full 100. I think before we were just looking for 75. So if I say something wrong, please correct me. I move that the Board of Appeals find the following as relates to the proposed development at 12 Maple Street Extension. The applicant is has stated that the intent to subdivide the current lot into two lots through process of lots with historic structures set forth in 210-117.2. The proposed lot 1 would meet dimensional requirements with the exception of front setback, which will provide 30 feet instead of the 40. Is that still correct, Mr. Connors? Could you change? So I think that one meets it completely now.
That's fine.
Um,
Fine, gosh. I gotta go back and
Okay.
look.
yeah, because if you said you moved it a little bit, I think that now
No,
you
we
have
didn't
the.
move house. We didn't move the house.
Oh no, but you moved the frontage, the front setback. Oh no, okay. So the front setback's the same. Thank you. Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
30
nothing
instead of the
with
40. So
setback.
it's 10 feet. Thank you. The request for a variance of granted will reduce the required setback from the street line or front setback from 40 feet to 30 feet for lot 1. Proposed lot 2 would be deficient with respect to the required frontage. It will also require a variance to reduce this requirement. It has to be 100 feet. That owing to the circumstances relating to the soil conditions, wetland shape, topography, and land structures, but not affected generally the zoning district, which is located. A little enforcement of the provisions of the bylaw involves substantial hardship and financial otherwise. This includes the wetlands drainage, the buffer zone required for the wetlands. There was one other thing that I didn't write down, but I'll leave it for that. That desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good, and that desirable relief may be granted without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of the ordinance or bylaw. Would somebody like to make that motion?
Second,
No,
I would like to make, this is on the findings. I'd like to make a motion that what John has just read is our findings.
And now I need a second.
Second,
Okay. Any discussion on that? Do you have enough on that, Adina? I know that I did a lot of talking in the middle of it, so I want to make sure that I was
Yeah,
clear enough.
I have the
Okay,
yes.
okay, excellent. Okay, hearing nothing on the discussion, Mr. Riley,
Yes.
Mr. Cohen,
yes.
James, where are you?
Yes.
Okay, Dan,
Yes.
and I'll vote in the affirmative also. Okay. Okay, now just move my decision. I move the board approve the variance for 12 Maple Street extension to reduce the setback from the street requirement for lot 1 from 40 feet to 30 feet, and to reduce the frontage requirement for lot 2 for 0 feet on the 100 feet. And allow for the subdivision of the lot under section 210-117.2 of the zoning bylaws. Would somebody like to make that motion?
I make a motion to,
Would you like to move my motion?
what's that?
Would you like to move my motion?
Well, you're not supposed to make a motion, so I like to
No,
make a
no,
motion.
no, I can make it, but you have to be the one that moves it.
I move the motion forward.
Yes,
Second.
that's like we do a town meeting, we move the motion as written in the town articles. Yes, and then we got a second. Okay. All right, any discussion on the decision? Hearing none. Mr. Hunt,
Yes.
Mr. Cohen,
Yes,
Mr. Burton,
Yes.
Mr. Riley,
Yes.
and I vote in the affirmative also. Okay.
Thank you.
Connors, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for the clarification and all that.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that that we can keep some historical structures, and it's nice that we have a piece of history with us, Mr. Shepherd, that can tell us the lineage of every home that's here. Not that I'm going to say that he inspected that one that was built there. He still has to come inspect some of my property, so I'm going to be very, very good.
Thank you.
Mr. Hunt's not saying a word.
Have a good
Awesome.
night, Mr. Connors.
Mr. Connors, everyone, be safe. Okay, so we had we had three sets of minutes. I looked them over and they looked good to me. Would somebody like to make a motion? Does anybody have any changes, or would somebody like to make a motion to accept them as drafted?
Do we have to do them individually, I believe? Or can we do them as a collective?
Well, if nobody has any changes to any, then we can do them as a collective.
Make a motion to accept the minutes for, it was.
Was it like 9/11, or was it 9/20, 9/23?
The three
9/24, 9/10, and 11/12.
11,
Those
12. I make a motion to accept those minutes as written.
Do we
Second.
have a second? Thank you, Mr. Burton. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Mr. Riley,
Yes.
Mr. Damasio,
Yes.
Mr. Hunt,
Yes.
Mr. Cohen,
Yes,
Mr. Mosier,
Sorry, yes.
Mr. Burton,
Yes.
and I vote in the affirmative also. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so we got that through. Okay, Adina, what do we have coming up?
Our next meeting is next week, but we don't have anything on it, so I don't think, I'm like 90% sure there's nothing for next week's meeting.
I didn't see anything for next week. That's why I thought we
I'll cancel
jumped.
that. I think that the next one we have something for would be January 14th.
Okay.
Just check sorry. Yeah, January 14th would be the next one. And there's, I think, just one, that's 0 Lumber Street.
Oh, yeah, that's a change of use or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the more than 2,500 square feet of impervious surface in the WRPOD district.
Okay.
I haven't read through the whole thing, but that's what I have on for a new commercial building.
Oh, excellent. All right. While we're still in session, John, thank you very much for your help on this one. Really
Very much.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, John.
Really, we couldn't have done it without you, Mr. Shepherd. Thank you very much. If you're still here, Adina, always. Thanks for letting me come in and bother you all the time too. All right, I guess that's it. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Could I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, that's great. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Mr. Riley,
Happy holidays. Yes.
Mr. Burton,
Yes.
Mr. Cohen,
Arnold?
yes, I was mute.
Mr. Hunt,
Yes.
Mr. Damasio,
Yes.
Mr. Mosier,
Yes.
and I vote in the affirmative also. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Really, thank you for hanging in with this one. These were just great ones. Great examples of aging in place, and then historical structures. I'm just really happy about the historical stuff. It's great. We can keep the old buildings. I just want to keep the old people. Okay. Hey, God bless everyone. Have a great holiday, everyone. And thank you so much. I will see you in 2026.
Thanks, John. Same to you.
Take care.
Thank
Thank you, buddy.
Bye. God
Good
bless.
night.
Goodbye.